In my last video, I talked about the modern conveniences that I easily incorporated into my off-grid home. But today, I'm going to talk about the common appliances that I easily left behind. And in nearly a decade of off-grid living, I've never missed them. Hey, Christina Monroe here with more tips and advice to guide you through creating an off-grid or sustainable home you'll love without the typical frustration, overwhelm, and costly mistakes. So if this is your first time here, then make sure to hit the big subscribe button and click the bell to make sure you get notified when I launch a new video. When I decided to move off the grid, I was really thinking about simplifying my life. I really wanted to increase my connection to nature and live more simply on the earth. So that drove a lot of my decisions about which modern appliances and conveniences I was going to incorporate into my home. I took the approach that I wanted things to be simple and small and affordable. But the truth of it is, with all the modern technology, you really can incorporate any modern convenience that you want into your home, but it's just going to cost a lot more. What I would suggest you consider is what appliances you can live without, and what is it going to be like if you lose power? Are you really reliant on that appliance or modern convenience for your comfort and for your safety? Because chances are, if you do lose power, it's going to be in the winter months, and you don't want to be relying on something that you need for your comfort and for your safety during the winter to rely on power. Now, you can get a generator. I chose not to get a backup generator. For one, they're really loud and really obnoxious. So I just decided to design my house so I didn't need a backup generator and that we would still be comfortable without electricity. So I knew one of the first appliances I wasn't going to incorporate into my house was the electric dryer. And they just pull a lot of power. And I knew that it would take a very expensive solar system in order to support that kind of modern convenience. And really, I felt like hanging out the clothes was really a positive thing, and I really practiced that. The only thing that was really holding me back was the towels. I love the way the towels come out of the dryer, all hot and fluffy. So I was complaining to my neighbor, and she said, "Oh, I love it when my towels come off the line. They're stiff like a loofah sponge, and it's like getting a spa treatment." And somehow, from what she said, it totally changed my perspective. And now when I take a towel off the line, I really like it that way. It's just a matter of changing your perspective. Hanging my clothes out instead of putting them in a dryer is one of my favorite parts of living off the grid. I really enjoy taking a break from working at my desk or from doing other chores, and it's just such a great excuse to go outside. And I just take that time to just enjoy being in my surroundings and listening to the birds and looking at the view. It's just a really nice mental break. Now, if you live in a climate like we do here in Colorado, where in the winter there's piles of snow outside, you'll probably want to find a place indoors that you can hang your clothes out. And the perfect place for us was the gray water planter. It runs the entire length of the living room, and so I just hung a retractable clothesline that runs across the planter in the winter, and then we can hang out our clothes along that planter. They're not in the way of the walking paths or hanging up in our bathroom, and the sun comes in through those south-facing windows and helps really dry those clothes very quickly. When I want to hang my clothes outside, I also have a retractable clothesline that attaches to the house, and then it just runs around the poles that we have in our patio area that support the shade sails. So there's little clips on those, and I can run the clothesline around that, and then it makes a great place to hang out clothes. And then when I'm done with it, I just retract the clothesline, and we have a perfectly great clean patio area. Now, the dishwasher was another appliance that I had always had. We had a dishwasher growing up. I'd had a dishwasher in every house I'd had before. But really, it is a task that is so easy to accomplish by hand. And so I chose to give up a dishwasher. And I've never regretted it. In fact, I really like the time to wash dishes. Again, it's another break. And when I had my kids at home, it was another opportunity to stand side by side and have a conversation when you're washing dishes. And in fact, when people first heard I was moving off grid, one of their first things was, "Oh, well, do you have a dishwasher?" And I would kiddingly say, "Well, yes, I have two, because I have two sons." So now that we're home all quarantined together, now we have 4 dishwashers. So some of the reasons why I just didn't have any trouble getting rid of the dishwasher was it does take a lot of power. Also, it's a task that's easy to do by hand. And the other reason is that I always felt that when I did use a dishwasher, I really needed to fill it up before I ran it. And it takes a lot of dishes to fill up a full-sized dishwasher. And I didn't want to have that many dishes. I wanted to keep things small and simple. So we have enough dishes for a family of 4, but we don't have to have 12 or 15 plates just to fill up the dishwasher. Now, the microwave is one of those devices that I gave up long before I moved off-grid. And whether you believe they're healthy or not healthy, I'm not going to get into that discussion. But quite truthfully, I just found that the food didn't taste good coming out of it. And when I got rid of the microwave, what I realized was that everything that I was cooking in the microwave could just as easily be prepared just as quickly and easily without it. So you might be saying, "Christina, isn't it more energy efficient to heat up, say, a cup of water in a microwave if you have several cups of tea or coffee or a beverage throughout the day?" But this is how I address that. I just heat up 1 tea kettle full of water in the morning when I'm getting ready. And then I pour that water into a thermos. And that way I have hot water all day long for having my tea and my coffee and whatever beverages I want throughout the day. Now, the coffee maker was another thing that took up countertop space, and it does heat water, so it does take some power. So I gave that up, and I've never missed it. Now, this was the days before pour-over coffee was in vogue, but I was making coffee in a French press, which was super easy. And now we make a lot of our coffee, using the pour-over method. So now we're in vogue, and we don't have to have a coffee maker. So my advice to you is, if you want to move off grid or really reduce your power consumption, try out getting rid of some of these devices and living without them and see how that feels. If it feels like you're living in lack or that you just really need to have it, then incorporate it into your design. But give yourself permission to change your perspective about how much you need that device. I really believe that anyone who puts their mind to it can build a sustainable home too. Designing your home consciously and efficiently, either on the grid or off the power grid, can drastically reduce your building expenses, utility bills, and your impact on the planet. If you'd like to know more about self-sustaining homes, living debt-free, and how you can design and build one too, then download my free guide, the 7-Step Quick Start Guide. You'll find the link in the description just below this video. Check out sustainablehomeresource.com, where you'll find out more about our workshops, online courses, and my book with the complete story about how we designed and built our self-sustaining off-grid home. And help me help you by leaving me a comment. Tell me what kind of videos would help you accomplish your dream of living in a self-sustaining or off-grid home. I post a video every Saturday morning, so stay tuned for more videos on designing, planning, and building your off-grid or sustainable home.